3 free Major League Baseball plays for Friday, June 27th are on their way. Weekend almost here. And Mark Zinno on location, as you can all see there. We have some interesting plays for the people today. We're going first 5 in one. We're going run line in another. And I am going to make the bold prediction that our loyal and faithful viewers will not like our show best bet.
Yeah, they haven't liked anything I've handed out this week. So unless you've been paying them, I'm 0-4 of my half of the double play. So, but big picture, we're 3-0-1 this week in Major League Baseball. We successfully passed yesterday, and I'm glad I did because I remember texting you. I'm like, hey, everything I even remotely thought that I would like didn't go the way we thought it would. Right? It was a tough yesterday across in Major League Baseball on a shorter slate. So again, like for what it's worth, folks, I know I was in a rut and I was pissed off and angry and it wasn't fun. But as you work your way out of this stuff, you try not to go too fast and too far, even after you get a couple right. So I was glad I had, what was discretion being the better part of valor?
We established that as the phrase. Yes, we established that yesterday.
Yes. And so discretion yesterday led me to pass. Smart move. Probably would have lost whatever I put out yesterday. So I felt good about that. We feel good about our play for tonight. You and I have discussed it. 4% best bet for me as we wade into the deep end once again. But I'm glad where we are. I hope to get a double play bet right today, but we'll continue along here. And lo and behold, we people are not going to like our show best bet, but I do like it. It kind of fits,
and so do I, which is the whole point of it. We agree on it. So
it fits a Bryan Power mold from a play standpoint, and it fits a Mark Zinno mold from a price standpoint, which is what I kind of like.
Okay. We'll get to your half of the double play momentarily. Play which I like and happen to agree with, for the record. I am now 4-4 for the week over at WT.Buzz/BP. 2-2 yesterday. For me, it was not a good day in Major League Baseball. I was 0-2, but it was a good day in soccer. I went 2-0. And if you caught this show yesterday,
we get to keep soccer bets going. Yeah.
Yes, because both teams to score. Juventus, Manchester City. That was a winner in just 11 minutes. And they wound up with 7 goals. Remember, I was like, well, I don't want to worry about them having to score 3 goals. Let's just worry about each of them scoring. Well, Man City put 5 in the back of the net. Man City was doing Man City things. They woke up, apparently decided to take this competition seriously. Scoring 5 on Juve is no small order. So thanks to all that were on board for that. We'll hope to turn baseball around today. I have a 4% best bet currently loaded at WT.Buzz/BP. For today, it's going to be my only client release. So I'll talk more about that.
I'm contemplating a second, but I'm debating.
Okay. Let's get into your half of the double play. What do you say? Toronto.
Yeah.
Boston. This is a big series in the AL East. I think it's a series that one of the Toronto, and if you look at Toronto, Boston's got a better run differential in Toronto still, despite a worse record. Right. But Toronto certainly seems to be the team that has the momentum. I know you're going to talk about Boston's offense or lack thereof it since the Devers trade. But what really appeals to me here with Toronto, and I see that you're attacking the first 5, so I co-sign, is that they have Bryan on the mound, who I just don't think is very good. You go to his Baseball Savant page, all the numbers will back up my assertion that he's not very good. So you say, hey, we don't know big picture, the exact directions these teams are heading, perhaps long-term, but today, Toronto would seem to have the edge in the first 5.
Yeah, look, I mean, when I first saw this, I wanted to play on Toronto just from a, situational standpoint, because Boston has been terrible. Since the Devers trade, get this, are you ready? The Boston Red Sox as a team are batting 191. That is the lowest in Major League Baseball. Their K rate is 29.1, which is the second highest by 0.1, only behind Colorado since the trade. When you talk about the runs that they've scored 30 runs since the trade, third fewest behind only the Royals and the Guardians. And oh, by the way, the Royals, who I think were shut out twice this week in their series against Tampa Bay. So this is not a great spot here for Boston. Boston scores more at home, and Brian Bayo, who starts for them, is kind of the pitcher. I know BP loves to fade Brian Bayo, and I'm with him. However, my feelings on run support and whether it's a real thing or not. But, BP and I go back and forth on this. Bayo had been getting great run support all year long. He still gets 7 runs per start, and that's kind of crazy. But again, he's only made 1 start since the Devers trade, and he only got 2 runs in that start. Crazy thing to think. Both the Giants and Red Sox since the Devers trade, other than the series where they played each other, have not won a game. Have not won a game. So it kind of scares me to play against Boston right now because you baseball regression, right? Like it feels like eventually they're going to have to win a game. And this may be the spot. And the thing that raised my eyebrow, BP, to be honest with you, was the fact that Toronto was such a short favorite here when it felt like they should have been a bigger number, right? It just felt like that that the fact that Toronto was a short favorite. And am I looking at this right? Has this flipped, BP? We're starting to see even money right now on Boston. So look, again, I just noticed it right now.
Yeah.
Toronto was a short.
Toronto was a short favorite. Now Boston's a short favorite for the game,
which alarms me even more about playing against Boston right now. But we're only doing first 5 here, and that sort of takes some of the variance out of the bullpens and everything else. If Toronto can get to Bayo, and I believe that they can because I don't think he's all that good.
It's not.
This is not a guy that really, impresses you all that much. Last year against Toronto, he had a 4.87 ERA, gave up 11 runs in 20 and a third innings. So clearly the Toronto bats, which are hot, can get to him here. But let's take Toronto. We get a short enough price, first 5 money line.
Yeah, there you go. And Bayo, what? They've lost a number of his last, have they lost 4 of his last 5 starts? The Red Sox?
Yes, that's correct. The only one was against the Yankees.
Oh, imagine that. And then, I referenced his baseball savant page. Let me just bring that up real quick. He is bottom 20% in both expected ERA and expected batting average. So he's, again, the run support is the reason that he, has been, the Red Sox are doing okay with him on the mound, but they're not doing okay with him on the mound because of him. So there you have it. Toronto first 5. Money line is Mark Zinno's half of the double play. I agree with that. If you do, please smash that like button. Yesterday, our show best bet did not go the way we had hoped, as the Miami Marlins ended up sweeping the San Francisco Giants, and they put a ton of runs on the board in the process. It looked as if in the bottom of the 4th, we had a fighting chance when the Giants tied things up at 5-5. Now, I didn't think things were going to be 5-5 at the end of the 4th inning. If you would have told me we were going to get 5 runs from the Giants in the first 4 innings, I would say, well, this best bet is going to do quite well. But Birdsong didn't have it. The Giants didn't have it. And the Fish. By the way,
I sorry to cut you off, but yesterday a weird thing happened because the Phillies got swept, the Royals got swept, and the Giants got swept. Like, when you and I see those spots where a team loses the first 2 games of the series, we always like to play the last matchup that they don't get swept because sweeps
unless if there's some like dog crap team like the Rockies, obviously. I mean, some teams are just worse. Yes.
But anyway, so the Giants got swept. But go ahead, I apologize.
The Giants got swept, and so the dare I say the Marlins are swimming upstream now all of a sudden. There's not a lot of streams in Arizona.
Salmon swim upstream. Tuna swim with the current. Salmon swim against it.
I'm not much of a fisher. I actually recently got out of a fishing trip. A lot of the dads in the neighborhood, they wanted to go fishing. I said, what do I know about fishing? And then when I was told it was going to be at 6:30 in the morning, I said, how about no?
How about no? And you missed my Seinfeld reference. Very upset.
I'm sorry. I was trying to get into my own personal story. Yes.
That episode was the opposite.
Right. Well, we're
the opposite. Tuna would be salmon because tuna swim with the current.
Okay. Well, enough. Let's just talk about the Marlins here. Not tuna, not salmon, not me on a boat.
You off the fish reference, not me.
Okay. All right. Marlins. Now, after fading this team yesterday, why would I come back and want to potentially and bet them? Well, Arizona, Mark Zinno, they're mediocre at best. this season. We talk about the Atlanta Braves struggles and how disappointing they are. The Braves and Diamondbacks have pretty similar records, right? I would power rate the Braves significantly better than the D-backs. And I look at this. Arizona opened minus 190 on the money line for this game. I don't think Arizona should be minus 190 right now against anybody. And I'll talk about the anybody part in just a second. But the market seems to concur with me here because Miami's taken some early money. Arizona is down to minus 180, minus 170 already as of this recording, quarter to 10 a.m. in the morning. And that's despite the majority of the bets and tickets being on them. So there's some sharp money on the Fish who again just swept the Giants. And you look at, yes, Arizona had yesterday off, but I don't know if that's enough to help a team that is coming off a long road trip that they got a feel should have been a little bit more successful. They took 2 of 3 from both in the last 2 series, but those were against the Rockies and the White Sox. So I'm just unmoved by Arizona. I'm not telling you Miami's going to win this game, gang. I'm just telling you Arizona's not going to win it by more than a run. So this, you can get it's pretty affordable. I think it's minus 140 as of right now. That's not too bad to get the plus 1.5. We're guaranteed all 9 at bats for the Marlins. So that is my half of the double play. Miami plus 1.5 at Arizona.
Very, 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 very dangerous.
Oh, you don't like it. Okay. You don't like it. I still think Arizona's a very good. Do you think Arizona's a great team?
No, but Merrill Kelly is probably their most consistent and best starter. And again, it's how long can we play on the Fish here to continue to winning games? I mean, look, them and the Nationals over the course of the past 2 weeks have really kind of played really good baseball. And it's kind of, is it for real? Does it even the Angels too over the last 2 weeks, right? We were talking a little bit about them. Interesting matchup for them tonight with Soriano on the mound.
Mm-hmm.
Been playing much better baseball over the last 2 weeks, and you start to wonder: is it real, or is it just a stretch where they're playing well and the wheels are going to come off the wagon again? I tend to think those teams, the wheels will probably come off the wagon, but for a team like Arizona that plays in the NL West, I think there's a desperation among the D-backs, the Padres, and the Giants, knowing that every game is super important to them because they're in a 3-team race for second and the wild card behind the Dodgers. So I think Arizona is probably better than what their record has suggested at this point.
Oh, I think I would push back on that. I don't know if I can.
Well, listen, they got off to a bad start. They finally have a positive run differential now. So I think that they are a little bit better than, again, what their record suggests, but they have a long way to go to prove that. So.
Yeah, and by the way, you talk about Miami. It wasn't just that they swept the Giants last series. They took 2 of 3 from Atlanta, granted at home before that. So they have been playing above their heads a little bit, Miami, and eventually they're going to come back down. But again,
would you say they're playing like a fish out of water?
Yeah, no, I was going to try to come up with something like that, and I struggled. I'll just say this. I think Miami doesn't do worse than a 1-run loss here. So there you have it. Our respective halves of the double play. Mark Zinno again is going with the Toronto Blue Jays in the first 5 money line. I'm going with Miami Marlins full game on the run line plus 1.5. Comment down below with your thoughts on those selections. Please do not hesitate to drop what you're betting on Friday as well. We do always enjoy seeing that. Also, a reminder, breaking news, we are available on all major podcasting platforms, iHeart, Spotify, Apple now. So make sure to hit that like.
Without Joe Rogan and what's that other douchey guy's name?
I don't know.
Andrew Tate.
I don't listen to that.
Yeah, I don't listen to it.
I'm sorry if that offends anybody. I don't listen to Joe Rogan, to be honest with you.
Really?
No.
So I listen to some of his interviews. I can't listen to the whole thing because it's like 2.5 hours long. I ain't that guy. Got that kind of time. But if he has an interesting interview or something, I'll certainly check it out.
I'm too busy working. So, all right.
I don't so for the record, so is he.
Oh,
he gets to call me.
Oh, yeah. And hats off to him. All right. I had a point. Again, I've been derailed mentally. Yes, I did. Talked about the special offer that I have right now at WagerTalk.com. Rest of year special. For one low price, you get the rest of my plays for 2025. It's, again, after the huge, and I do mean huge, 5% win we had on Sunday to cap the 12-1 run to end the NBA season. We had Oklahoma City in Game 7, of course. It's been a mediocre week, to say the least. 4-4 the last 4 days. But big things on the horizon this weekend. I have a 4% best bet in MLB tonight. 15-5 run with all plays rated 4% or higher, Mark, including 5-1 in Major League Baseball. And already posted, obviously, some of you who are on board My Soccer know what that's all about, what it's been all about for more than a year now. If you loved that Man City Juventus, both teams to score play yesterday, and say, I would like more soccer, I would like to play more with this man. Well, guess what? I already have a play up for Saturday in the Club World Cup, and that analysis will be posted momentarily, probably by the time you're listening to the show. I'm done now.
Okay. I'm trying to be nice to you about your bloviating about your record.
I got a lot of
it's so bad. I will allow you the grace to, but once I return to my normalcy, I'm going to have to put the kibosh on your stroking of yourself.
Oh my! How about I don't know if you noticed this. I got a lot of color yesterday at the game here.
I mean, you did. You listen.
I don't know. It's redder, this shirt or my face right now, man. It was hot yesterday. It was one of those games you just felt the sweat going down your back the whole time. That's always nasty.
Oh, that's happened. By the way, you know where I was yesterday?
Please tell me.
Can I share this with you and the people and just prove it? I actually, since I was up in the Northeast, I made a trip to the Worldwide Leader headquarters last night.
Oh, look at that. Again, it is Mark Zinno of many national media outlets.
And I say all that to say that it's a really nice operation. I got a chance to just shake hands and meet a lot of people I work with on a regular basis, finally face-to-face, because a lot of the stuff we do is remote. But I will say this much. Very impressive campus. Very, very impressive. It's like actual college campus. Place is huge. It's insane.
Interestingly enough, I've never been to the ESPN campus in Bristol. I have, however, been to WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut. Not a lot of people say they can get in that door, but I had the connection.
Yeah. That was also part of the reason I passed yesterday too. Like knew I wasn't going to be focused on anything and didn't have the time to sit down and drill down because there was a lot of traffic getting there because New York has traffic. That's what we do.
Oh, it does? I was unaware of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway.
Okay. All right.
You ready for the best bet?
I am ready for the best bet. You are ready for the best bet. Are the people
package information? We've done all the fiduciary things that we need to do here. We spent enough time BSing. We let you bloviate. Let's get to the best bet.
Tampa Bay Rays are playing well. We're going to take the other team today. And it's Baltimore plus 110 at Camden Yards. Look, the Orioles obviously, I think it's fair to say, biggest disappointment of the first half of the season. The only other team in the conversation would be Atlanta, I would say. Because Atlanta expected
your Atlanta Braves. Your Atlanta Braves.
Well, you're the one who lives in Atlanta. But neither of us live in Baltimore. You've called Baltimore home. Yeah, so I don't know. Apparently, you're leaving a trail of disappointment behind you, sir.
Good city.
I've actually never been to Baltimore, believe it or not. It's probably one of the bigger cities I've never been to.
You really like it.
I probably would.
The Inner Harbor area is right up your alley.
Good. I have been to Tampa Bay many times before, as a child and as an adult, but we don't really care about the Power family travels. We care about this AL East matchup here on Friday, a series opener. Something else I was wrong about in baseball on Thursday. I took Kansas City yesterday. I wanted to fade that Shane Baz. I'm going to probably keep doing it, to be blunt with you. Yeah. I was wrong yesterday. Kansas City just can't score at home. But we think Baltimore can score enough at home. Sagano, good pitcher. I just think that, look, Baltimore split a series with Tampa Bay last week, as hot as Tampa Bay had been. That was kind of the one series in this run that the Rays have had in June where they were not dominant. Again, division dog at home. Give us the O's at the plus price here. Tell them why we're going to fade a seemingly very red hot team.
Look, this was another game here where when I saw the initial number and only saw Tampa Bay at like minus 125. Tampa Bay's taking a little bit of money. I think they open around minus 120. I'm like, that's a fishy line. That is a very, again, I don't think odds makers make trap spreads per se, but they are telling you something here that this matchup is much closer than you want to give it credit for on paper. Tampa Bay is the second highest scoring team in Major League Baseball the entire month of June. They are the second highest batting average. They're tearing the cover off the ball as of late. And they are facing a team in the Orioles that hasn't been very good. However, Ryan Pepiot is a guy whose expected ERA higher than his regular. His FIP is higher than his ERA is, which is a bad sign. And he's given up 14 bombs on the year. And that's not a spot, where you want to play on a guy who is now pitching in a hitter's park in Camden Yards. I know he faced Baltimore earlier this year, did very well, 8 innings, 4 hits, and just 1 run. And, that was kind of during the Orioles, bad drop late May into June, where they really, really stunk for a while. But they played better as of late. And I just, the number to me is what set me off, BP, honestly, where I said, maybe Baltimore's got a shot in this one. Here's the other thing. The Rays have never faced Tomoyuki Sagano. They've never faced him. So give a little bit of edge here to Sagano, who's been better at home at Camden Yards in his rookie campaign. And let's see if they can follow through here. Orioles bats can get to Pepiot. They've done it in the past. They've seen him before. And I think we actually get a little bit of an upset here. So we'll roll the dice here with the Baltimore Orioles horn. Go to Boog's Barbecue. See, if you go to Camden Yards, you go out to Boog's Barbecue. It's right out over the right field wall on Utah Street. And if you ever go to Camden Yards, you'll see smoke billowing.
Write that down.
Billowing out of Boog's Barbecue.
Billowing.
Yes. And then, of course, when you go there, you got to get a crab cake, because crab cakes in football. That's what Maryland does.
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it. Not only a recommendation on the Orioles-Rays game, but a recommendation on where to go if you are ever visiting Camden Yards, which, for many years has been regarded as one of the better stadiums in Major League Baseball. I'll point something about Tampa Bay, and I wrote about this a few days ago, I think, that's fascinating about their success this year. This is a team that has gotten more innings pitched from its starting rotation than any other team in baseball. Very unlike them the last couple of years.
Why their bullpen is so good, why the numbers are so good, because they don't have to get as many outs.
And and their rotation's been healthy. It's been the normal 5 guys, I think, have made all but one start.
Imagine if they had Shane McClanahan.
Yeah, and he had that's the thing. That's what's crazy. And the other thing that's crazy is not only are the how much they're getting from their starting pitchers is interesting, because it's a team that obviously begat the opener concept several years ago. But I don't really like any of their starters besides Rasmussen.
No, yeah, I'm with you.
I think the other 4 guys in the rotation are all subpar, and the numbers play that out. For a while there, the 4 guys that weren't Rasmussen were all bottom 20 among qualified starters in FIP.
Yeah,
and yet here they are. They're winning at a high rate. Tip your cap to them. But we like the Orioles tonight as our show best bet. That is going to do it for the show. That is going to do it for the week here on the Morning Wager.
I hope to get my hand to go play right at some point.
All right, guys. Until next time, let's cash some tickets.
Chances high or low.